Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to Moscow. Now I'm actually right on the border of Moscow and Moscow region. I'm in an area called Krasnogorsk. Now this is perhaps a little bit more famous for Crocus City shopping center and the expo center. However, on the other side of the river there is a micro district. I want to show you an apartment that is for sale, and I've got access to it for a few hours or for a short time, and let's go and check it out. So where the actual apartment building is Krasnogorsk. Now the nearest metro station is Mikhinino metro station, which is the one immediately by Crocus City. There is also a very nice boulevard here with some shops, supermarkets, cafes, and there's these actual apartments upstairs here which are really interesting. It's got this piazza kind of feeling to it, and actually all of the towers that are here by this complex or this micro district, they've got underground parking. So you can see here just ahead all the cars going into the underground parking, and there is of course plenty of street parking as well. Let's go on and check out this apartment. This is the apartment building that I'm going to go and show you, and the apartment's on the 38th level of 43 floors, and it's really actually quite interesting to look up and see the apartment building from this perspective, because for me, I only live in a building that's 14 levels and I live on level 9, so the view out the window must be amazing. Now what's really nice about this area and this micro district, these actual apartments are all built by the same developer, and the buildings are called the Art Project, and you can kind of get a bit of an idea of it from the side of the buildings and the colors that they've painted on the walls and the surrounds. And the nice thing here, they've got lots of playgrounds for kids. There's basketball over here. There's also a kids playground on the left hand side. Now I'm here a little bit later in the evening, but because we've got such beautiful weather, everybody's still playing outside. All the kids are enjoying this warm Moscow weather that we're having. You can see some of the other apartment buildings. There is also a tennis court and small football pitch off in the difference as well. And then where we want to go is right here. So let's head on inside and check it out. Coming inside the lobby area, you actually get a feeling for this art apartment and the floors and the walls and things like that. There is actually some interesting videos running. I think this is actually the apartment buildings in the immediate area, and I think perhaps some other apartments from the same builder of this micro district. And what's super interesting over here is they've got this keypad, and they've got smart elevators here. So you can actually press your floor here before you walk over to the elevator. And of course, the way smart elevators work, if two people call the elevator to different floors, it will only take you to those levels, which is kind of nice. There is this open area here. There is a skeleton of a piano. I guess that's just the theme of this whole area, but nice kind of open area. I'm not too sure what you put there. There is also concierge here as well. So if you have any problems getting into the apartment, or you're going to get some kind of a delivery, they can help you with that. So basically you can press the button back in the corridor and the elevator can come before you get there. Here are the letterboxes. They look like books on the wall. And then coming through, we come to the elevators. So there is actually the keypad over here that you can press to call the elevator to your floor. Now, we need to go up to the 38th level, and I'm going to let this one go by and catch the next one, so it's a little bit easier. So all you need to do actually is just do 38, and then that one, and it tells you it'll be elevator D, and then you just wait for it to turn up, and off you go. Coming out on the 38th level, It's a nice, easy walk to find the apartment. Now, the actual decoration that was in the lobby continues on all of the levels. And this art decoration, I think is what you would call it. Now, basically, it's a little bit moody in here. I guess it's the whole art feeling and the painting. It kind of fits the buildings. We just need to walk around a few of these corridors. And the apartment is down here on the left-hand side. So let's head on inside the apartment. Now, these heavy doors, which I've shown many times before with the double locks. So the main reason they've got these heavy doors is, one, it's for noise and to keep it quieter in the corridor. And two, people just like the security of it. And it's not that people need bigger doors or anything like that. It's just very common in Russia. And the important thing to do, take your shoes off when you're coming inside. So the first thing that you see as you come in the corridor here, there's a nice cupboard to put some things away. You've got a place to put your jackets. This is the electrical breaker box right here, which is pretty much normal. So what's really interesting with this apartment is it's a one-bedroom apartment, or what would they call a one-room apartment. And then you've also got on one side the bathroom here on the left, and then there is storage here on the right, which is really nice because it's a cupboard. And there's also drawers, and whoever perhaps set this up put these nice shelves right here. There's your drying rack for your washing. So yeah, there's plenty of room to store things, more than enough room. And there is also underfloor heating in this apartment as well. This is the dial on the wall right here. Underfloor heating is only on tiled areas, so it'll be the bathroom and this kind of entryway kitchen part right here. And then we'll go and check out the bathroom. And everything you need, of course, toilet, bath, and this is a shower. And then they've got this full tiled bathroom, which is also very normal and very typical. The one thing that's a little bit different with this apartment is there is no washing machine in the bathroom. So a lot of times they'd have it under the sink right here. And because of this kind of concrete pillar here, you've lost a little bit of space for where you would put the washing machine, perhaps in the corner. But I think it's perfectly fine. What they've done, they've actually put the washing machine in the kitchen, which I'll show you in a second. So coming on inside here, you'll see on this right-hand side is the living area. It's a nice big dining room table, these overhead cupboards. So as an apartment for sale, what's very normal is everything you see here would be as part of the purchase of the apartment, including the sofa, pillows and things like this. Everything will stay with the apartment, the TV, and the people that would be selling the place literally would just take their personal belongings and off they go. So you've got a very traditional sofa and the TV, storage cupboards underneath. So you do have somewhere where you can sit and watch the television in a normal lounge room setting. This isn't real, that I found out afterwards. But have a look at this view over Krasnogorsk right here. Now I've actually opened the window so you can get a very nice view and actually have a look at all the apartments that you can see in this immediate area. And then Crocus City would be just roughly behind these apartment buildings right here. And you can actually see pretty much about here, you can see Ostankina television tower, which is where Vadenhar is. And there's another matching apartment building right across. And then you've got the view of the river over on this side. Now, I keep getting told to put my camera out the window and show the view. I'm holding onto it for dear life. You can see the Moscow River. You can actually see some houses on the other side over on those islands over there. And then you can hear kids playing outside because of the evening's getting a lot later here now. It's a lot nicer. You can play out till 8 or 9 p.m. It's very nice. And then the kitchen. See if I can do this in one video clip. So this nice little compact kitchen. I mean, you don't need a lot for small apartments. This is 44 square meters, this apartment. So there would have been options to put the kitchen on this side or put it on this side. So when somebody would have been building this, it's up to them where they wanted to do it. Looks like there's a brand new fridge here though. So if you do get the apartment with a new fridge, it's a bonus. I think cupboards. So there's a 2-burner hot plate, and then you've got the oven. What's really interesting is this extractor fan in the shape of a record player. I wonder if anyone's seen that before. When I saw it, I was a little bit like shocked or very interested about it. Plenty of cupboards, and then your washing machine is built in here. Now this is actually quite normal in Russia to do this. Also in England, in Europe, it's very normal. Actually also a dishwasher as well. Even in my apartment I don't have a dishwasher. But the nice full-size fridge. I had to do it in 2 takes because I was trying to make sure I say all the right things. So this whole 1-bedroom setup, so depending on how they would have laid out the walls for this apartment, so whoever would have bought this when the apartment was under construction, they would have had a choice of moving around the walls and making the bedroom bigger or smaller, making the lounge room bigger. You could have moved the wall over one direction or the other a little bit. Then you create a nice cozy bedroom right here. Now it's just got one side table. You don't need any cupboards in here. Now there is actually all the sockets if you wanted to put a TV on the wall or a cabinet here for the TV. Doesn't really matter. And then you have that view that we just saw from the other window over here. Nice big windowsill. There's actually the central heating right here. Now in my building this is switched off already. In this building it's still on. So they will probably switch this off in the next few days because we've got temperatures over 20 Celsius for 3 days in a row, which usually means that they're going to switch off the heating at some point. So yeah, what do you think? And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump to another scene where I'm going to go through the prices with you of this place. 43 square meters, actually 44 square meters. 43.9 is the total space. But nice open plan lounge room, kitchen, bedroom, and then you've got that big storage cupboard right here. So that's why you don't really need a cupboard in the bedroom. I don't think so. And you've got a nice cozy little bedroom area. So yeah, my question is, as always, could you live here? Okay, so it's actually the next day now and I'm at home. It was actually getting quite dark as I was making the video and I didn't realize how late it was, so it's easier to do it from home. I will put some information up here on this screen so you can follow along and I'll explain to you about the apartment. So the apartment that I did the tour in is actually listed for sale. So you could purchase this apartment, you could move in there, you could put it as a rental, you could do all sorts of things with it, I'm not sure. You could remodel it. Pretty much as it is, you could move in and live there very happily, I think. So it was a 1-room apartment. And again, in Russia, they like to call them 1-room or 2-room apartments and so on. However, in Australia, we would call it a 1-bedroom apartment. And I think, depending on where you are in the world, probably agree with that as well. It was 44 square meters in size. And it was on the 38th level of the apartment building. I think from the view from the window, you could see that we were fairly high up. The apartment is for sale fully furnished, so everything that you saw would be included. Perhaps the owner might take perhaps pillows and bed sheets and things like that, and that's it. Everything else you would get, all of the appliances in the kitchen, the washing machine and things like that. Now the location where I was is a place called Krasnogorsk, but the closest metro station is Mykinaino metro station. And most people would know that in Moscow as the immediate metro station by Crocus City, which is the expo center and shopping center. And then when you come out of the metro, it's about a 20-minute walk. You'd actually come out of the metro, walk over a nice bridge, cross the Moscow River, and the apartment complex is right there. If you were to catch the metro from there into the center of Moscow, it's about 30 minutes on the Blue Line metro. So it's really not that far. Actually, the weather yesterday and today in Moscow is beautiful, so it's a nice, easy walk. Now, the price of the apartment, so it's listed for sale, and it's currently listed for 12 million rubles. And then the exchange rate in different currencies. This is based on today, literally, so I checked the exchange rate today at the time of posting the video. So 147,000 US dollars, 128,000 euros, 110,000 pounds if you're from England, 204,000 Canadian dollars, and then in Australian currency, 230,000 Australian dollars. Now in Russia, you could also bargain and offer a lower price if you wanted to. That's up to the person selling it if they were wanting to sell it cheaper, or if they're not in a rush, maybe they won't accept a lower price, but you can happily bargain as well. I will again put the information about the location in the description of the video, so you can look it up where it physically is. Perhaps you know Crocus City, the shopping center, and the expo center. I've made quite a lot of videos there before, so it's quite well documented on the channel. So the main thing is, what do you think? Could you live there? You know, the layout of the apartment, that nice open plan with the lounge room and kitchen and dining room, and then that separate cozy bedroom. And you had plenty of storage with the closet when you walked in as well. So, you know, it was, for me, very nice one room or one bedroom apartment, if I base it on others that I've seen here in Moscow. So let me know in the comments what you think. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. That's the easiest way you can show that you like watching the videos and these apartment tours that I do on the channel. And then if you want to follow my Telegram channel, the link is right here. You can click that and join me on Telegram. I'm very active in the chat group. And then if you want to see an older video on the channel, you can click this link and you can keep traveling with Russell and watch something else that you might not have seen before. Okay, everybody, I'm off on another adventure. Bye.